Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So, did we get it? Did we get the very first Bitcoin Spot ETF approval? I guess we did. Because breaking news, the SEC did not appeal the decision, the court's decision with Grayscale. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Are we getting Bitcoin Spot ETFs right around the corner, and what is it going to do for Bitcoin? All right, let's do this. Welcome. So, happy Saturday. Yesterday, I talked about this, right? This was basically, yesterday was the last day for SEC to appeal the court's decision on Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF application, right? The courts ruled that SEC did not give any valid reasons why Grayscale couldn't convert. And yesterday was the last day for SEC to appeal. And during midday, it was reported that they do not plan on it. And I believe midnight was the deadline. And I have not found anything else that said that they have changed their mind and appealed at the last second. So apparently, they did not appeal. So apparently, they agree that, yeah, Grayscale didn't really have, or they didn't have any good excuses to give Grayscale. So here's the thing. From my understanding, right, because of this, because they didn't appeal, right, they basically, Grayscale basically can ask for, their trust to be converted, right? And it doesn't mean that it has to be an automatic approval, but it does mean that the SEC has to come up with new reasons to deny their conversion. And they can't use the same reasons before. So basically, they can't say what they said before. If they do, it wouldn't be valid, right? Grayscale could take them to court again. And I don't think SEC wants that. And they've been taking too many losses. So obviously they don't want that, right? So basically everyone was putting two and two together and saying, well, if they don't appeal, then whatever new application or whatever, I guess I don't even know if it requires a new application. But when Grayscale comes around and says, yeah, convert us, or we're going to convert and you're going to allow us to convert, basically the SEC is going to say, okay, they're not going to deny it. That's basically what all the lawyers were saying, right? And that's exactly what's probably going to happen. Unless the SEC finds some other damning reason not to let Grayscale to convert, this sounds like it's a done deal. That's it. So do we just wait? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe this coming week, Grayscale announces when their trust will be converted into a spot Bitcoin ETF. So should we be cheering? I think so. A lot of analysts already predicted this, that either we're going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF by the end of this year, or we will get it by early next year. There's a 90% chance of approval, according to some analysts, by January. And that's with ARK's spot Bitcoin ETF. But if it's going to be this year, it has to be Grayscale. And if Grayscale does get theirs, then everyone else is going to get theirs too. So this looks like it's about to happen. Unless, again, SEC somehow pulls some new excuse out of their hat and says, yeah, you can't get it. You can't do it, right? This is going to be a done deal. I just don't know when. I don't know. The Grayscale thing is a little bit different than all the other applications, which is why I'm kind of like a little confused about like the deadline, if there needs to be a new application and stuff, because everyone else, including ARK, BlackRock, and so forth, they're not trying to convert. They're just coming out with a new spot Bitcoin ETF. And there's a lot of deadlines, and SEC has been pushing back on those deadlines until the main, last one, which for ARK is in January, but for everyone else is in March. Grayscale's is different because they're trying to convert, and they won the lawsuit, and now the appeal didn't come. So does that mean they could just announce that they're converting or they have to resubmit. I'm not quite sure. The Grayscale thing's a little bit different. But again, if Grayscale gets their Bitcoin ETF, then that means we have the very first one in the US, which means the SEC has really no ammunition to say no to all the other fund managers that are trying to come out with theirs, right? So basically, if we get it all. That's what it sounds like. So that is absolutely fantastic, okay? And why is it fantastic? Why does Bitcoin Spot ETF, why is it so appealing? Well, look at this. A lot of people look at this. Gold peaked out, bottomed out, and then boom, gold ETF introduced, and then it went up like crazy, okay? So can we see the same thing happen with Bitcoin? Here's the difference between Bitcoin and gold. I think we will see the same kind of pump leading into 2025, right? The spot Bitcoin ETFs will definitely help bring in massive amount of money into the space. But here's the difference. Bitcoin, unlike gold, has a finite supply. Bitcoin has a halving event every 4 years, unlike gold. And the amount being released gets cut in half. Bitcoin has this built-in scarcity. Bitcoin isn't controlled by any company, any government, right? It has the most decentralized network out there. So even without the spot Bitcoin ETFs, I would argue Bitcoin's going to do that anyways in the next year and the year after that, 2024 and 2025. But however, with the spot Bitcoin ETFs around, it's just going to make it that much easier for more money to come in, right? So that's the difference. Gold needed something to propel it upwards. Bitcoin does not. It will do that regardless, but hey, spot Bitcoin ETFs just help the pump come faster. That's how I see it. You know, it's going to make it so much easier for all these big institutions to jump into the space, right? With a click of a button through their broker. It's just going to make it very, very, very easy, right? So I think this is monumental. Let's see what happens this week. Right, this coming week, is Grayscale going to make a big announcement? Like, I like to see it. I just don't know how Grayscale's conversion works versus all the new applicants, right? It's a little bit different. But again, the fact that SEC does not appeal is a big, big win, right? And of course, I just got done saying, well, Bitcoin will have a phenomenal year in 2024 and 2025 regardless, right? And there's a lot of charts that show that. Here's another one, right? Looking at previous cycles, what has happened before. You have a buy zone 1, a buy zone 2, and then you get a parabolic rise, right? Every single time. So we're just mimicking what has happened before. And here's another one. When we do go up, right? This trader is looking at angles, and there's certain angles Bitcoin could go up with, okay? One angle is the lowest one, shows that Bitcoin heading back to its previous high, around 65,000. Here's another one that shows it going to 128,000, and another one to 186,000. But here's the thing. This is not predicting the end of the cycle in 2025. This is predicting where Bitcoin will be by the next halving event. Can we actually get a new high by April of 2024? That's less than 6 months away. That would be mind-blowing if we were at like 128,000 by April, okay? Can we rule it out? No. I think there's a possibility because if you look at previous cycles, it happened one time. But other times it went up a little bit less, right? So even just to get back to the previous high, about 65,000 by the halving event, and we build off from there, that would be absolutely phenomenal. And with a spot Bitcoin ETF approval and with all of them being approved after that, that is certainly a possibility. It just causes money and FOMO to come in quicker, right? And then we build off of that into the latter half of 2024 and 2025, and things will just go Nuts. Nuts. How they like to say, no, I'm not going to repeat what I used to say about that. There's like a military term. I'm not going to say it. Anyways, and here's the thing. Now people are predicting after the next top, where's the next bottom, right? Every time Bitcoin has that parabolic top, it comes back down, but we make higher lows every single time. And there are people that are predicting that the next low, the next floor, you know, crypto winter will be at 36,000, right? Every single time Bitcoin forms a higher high. Yes, 36,000 will seem scary if we fall from 250,000, but think about it right now. If that's truly the next floor price and Bitcoin is still at 27,000, why would you not be loading up right now? Just like back in 2019, when Bitcoin hit $3,000 and it was very fearful, much more fearful than now. Had I told you guys, hey, the next floor price after the next cycle top and bottom was at 15,000 and it's 5 times higher than our current price at 3,000, had I said that, would you have not just gone all in? Like with everything, right? It's kind of the same way now. I can't guarantee that 36,000 is the next floor price after the next cycle top and bottom. But imagine if it was. It makes a whole lot of sense. If we truly knew 100%, would you not go all the way in right now? Right? But that's just what happens at every cycle. We don't know with 100% certainty, but we're using history as our guide. It happens every single time that we form a much higher low and a much higher high until that cycle somehow breaks and we don't have the same kind of trend anymore. Why would we assume that it wouldn't be the same this cycle around? Just think about that. Just think about that. And no, I'm not advocating everyone to go all in right now, but I have been saying this is definitely a time to be more greedy than fearful. This is the time, like, we're at the cusp of, like, you know, getting that next bump up, getting closer to having an event and having a spectacular year after that. An address is holding at least 10 Bitcoins, all-time high. A lot of you guys, 1 Bitcoin, congratulations, whole coiner, right? 2 is your next goal. 3 is your next goal. 4, 5, 6, until you get to 10. 10, right? Like a lot of these people, and there's more now than ever before. All-time high number of addresses holding at least 10 Bitcoins. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. So we got to wait and see this week. Are we going to see something from Grayscale? Are we going to get the very first Bitcoin Spot ETF? If so, get ready for a monumental pump that will follow afterwards. But in the meantime, while we wait, just know that Bitcoin is in a fantastic spot. Its fundamentals is arguably the best it's ever been in its entire life. And this is definitely the time to be more greedy than fearful. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, are there other things going on? There's some meme coin stuff going on. I don't know. A lot of you guys are SHIB. I don't know what this means, but the lead developer tweeted out something about Taylor Swift. Okay. Could it be because they want to partner up with Taylor Swift, or because you could use SHIB to buy Taylor Swift's movie ticket, which seems, I don't even know why she has movie tickets. But, you know, he tweeted this, and no one understands what it's about. Or maybe it's a partnership with some other dApp. Who knows? Who knows? But it's quite interesting that you can pay with Bitcoin, Doge, and SHIB at AMC theaters using BitPay. Okay. But there's also a lot of significant development underway for both, no, not both, for all three, SHIB, Leash, and Bone. So something to look forward to, right? And as for the other meme coin, Doge, Billy Marcus calls out the community. The co-founder of Doge says that the community does nothing productive other than just bitch about things. So here's the thread here. So you got this one person that says the Dogecoin really show a DEX that funnels 50% of its fees towards the people that runs Dogecoin account. And then Billy argues, well, how would you like Dogecoin development to be funded since there are no pre-mine pre-sales like other coins? The community has donated maybe $40K in total in 10 years with 95% in the first 6 months. So he got pissed off and he's like, what does the community actually want anyways? I never see it do anything productive at all. I personally don't see anyone whatever developed on a product or spend any time on it for this community unless they enjoy pain and stress. So basically, I mean, Billy has a point. It's like, I don't know if Billy really backed that DEX, but I guess, you know, he's trying to make a point that Doge, unlike others, don't have a pre-mine. The founders sold off all their Doge. They have no money. They have no treasury. So how do you expect anything to be done when everyone just keeps bitching about everything? Right? And then he goes on, anytime the foundation has said anything, it's been met with relentless attacks, so they stopped. Which is logical when there's no point in communicating with hostile people who don't listen to anything but their own circle jerk. I mean, it's true. I mean, Twitter is very toxic, right? So, I mean, I kind of agree with Billy here because, you know, like, people like to just bitch. You know, there are some people that never create. They only bitch about what other people are doing, yet they never lift a finger to do it themselves. That's kind of how the community is around Doge. And everyone is waiting for Elon to do something, right? Like, Elon is like the only saving grace to Doge is maybe he does something with X, maybe he does something with payments, because there's nothing else that's being done right now, right? So that's kind of how Doge is now, right? And it's sad. And I wish the community would actually do more, but it just seems like there's just no way. There's no way for it to be done because people just keep attacking on everything, right? Anyways, so that's what's going on with Doge. What else is going on? A lot of Solana people do not like hearing that their chain keeps on crashing. They are now offering a bounty for anyone to crash Solana, $400,000 bounty. Okay, so if any of you guys are hackers and you know, this is a really easy way to make some money, right? Obviously, Solana, you know, the last few years, maybe not this year, but the last year and the year after that, there was probably a dozen of reboots and chain locks or whatever, right? They have been trying really hard to stop it. Right now, the market is kind of down. Volume is down. There's not nearly as many activities as before. So it's easy to say that everything's been fixed, right? It's not really tested with full volume. But, you know, they're trying to stay on top of it. And they're like, we're sick of hearing it. Crash us if you can. And you'll make $400,000 pretty good. But in the meantime, they have flipped base in TVL, so they are still growing, most likely because, you know, Solana, you know, has been recovering a little bit, so that's good. But it's been discovered that the FTX estate still holds 122 million. That's quite a lot, and that doesn't include the billions that they still have. I get confused on, like, you know, who owns what anymore, if everything is one bucket or it's still spread out between SBF and Alameda and FTX estate and FTX and new exchange. I don't know who owns who anymore, but they all have an enormous amount of Solana, but most of it is locked in, has not been released, and or, you know, they're staked, right? So there's still a lot of that going on. Two other things that I saw that are very important. Number one is Metamask seems to have been removed from Apple. That is no good. This could be a mistake, or this could be something that's resolved easily. But we know Apple has been on a crusade because they want their 30% cut. This is the reason why if you download the Coinbase wallet from an Apple App Store, NFT transfers are removed, shut down, because they actually want to take 30% of the ETH fees required to transfer NFTs. So, of course, Coinbase is like, we don't control ETH fees, and we're not going to pay you out of our pockets. So that's why that feature has been disabled, right? I don't know if this is the same thing. If Apple's going to MetaMask and saying, hey, we want to take a 30% cut of all of your ETH or whatever, transactions, BNB transactions, right? I don't know if it has something to do with that or something else. Previously, Trust Wallet was removed from the App Store, and then it got re-added really quickly. I don't know if this is the same situation or it's just a mistake. They'll add it back or not. But, yeah, this kind of unfortunate, right? So, see, this is what happens when you depend on centralized third parties. Unfortunately, all of our phones are dictated by either Apple or Android, right? But Apple goes on these like crusades sometimes. They say it's to protect the people, but it's really to protect their own pockets. So I hope this gets resolved, right? But if it doesn't, it shows the importance of having your own wallet, something that people can't just remove or shut down, right? Self-custody wallet is very, very important going forward. And then lastly, I saw this. A lot of you guys will enjoy this. Ferrari is going to accept crypto as payment, okay? It's about damn time. Even Ferrari knows 2024, 2025 are coming. There's going to be a lot of new Bitcoin millionaires, crypto millionaires that want a piece of Ferrari. So this is only for the US though. Those of you guys that are in Italy, Europe, anyone else, you got to wait. But this is huge. It's not huge. I'm just joking. It's not that big, but it's good to see. They're getting ready. I'm sure Lamborghini will offer something this similar too. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Very good turnout on a Saturday. Gary is negotiating his new position at Grayscale as we speak, according to Ricky. I mean, it could be Grayscale, it could be BlackRock. He's planning his next career, that's for sure. All right. Who you got on Logan Paul and Dillian Danish? Logan seems to be a much bigger guy. I don't know Dillian too much. I don't. So, I don't know. I'm more focused on the IFC, the Influencer Fight Club, and making that as big as I can. So I'm locking the fights right now, getting the contracts written. I got most of the fights. Most of the contracts will be going out. There's a few more that I'm trying to lock in. That's what I'm focused on. And maybe one day I can attract Logan Paul to the IFC. All right. Let's see here. Dow's Crypto. How many do you own? More than 10? Yes. And someone else says, I doubt anyone here has 10. You're wrong about that. I have spoken to many people that have reached out to me, either in person or on Telegram or in my Discord or some of the comments, and people have chimed in, there's a lot more people that hold more than 10 than you know. There's a lot of influential businessmen, lawyers, doctors that are quite wealthy, and they believe too. So don't think everyone is a degen or everyone is, only trying to build up to their first. No, a lot of people have a ton of Bitcoins, which is why this is growing. A lot of people have been DCAing for a long time too. It's not like they're just putting in $270,000 to buy 10 Bitcoins right away. They've been DCAing over a long time. What's better? Arthur asks, what's better, Avalanche or Solana? I like both. Me personally, I like Avalanche a little more. I like their development better. But Solana is still Solana, and there's still a lot of people that love them. Ryan Miller, George is too good for Taylor Swift. I gotta be a little humble here. I gotta say, yeah, she's way bigger than I am. I mean, it's just really impressive to see what she's done. Her concerts sell out immediately, like within seconds, and now she's turning her concerts, I don't know, into a movie that'll probably be a number one in the box office. I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't keep up with Taylor Swift stuff, but it just seems like she's just like killing it. She's killing it. TVL, total value locked. Crypto Passion, if that's what you're wondering, TVL. It's not TVI, TVL. Basically TVL is like, like stable coins that's on the chain, right? And all the other crypto, the synthetic ones and native ones are like held in, being staked or put into a liquidity pool. It's just calculating all the value of all the liquidity that's on the chain. That's what TVL is. The Har Master, no. I hear Carlos still holds Ben's Lambo. Like when Ben said he signed it over to Carlos, he literally signed it over. Like it doesn't belong to Hit Network. Carlos has it. I don't know what he planned on doing with it. I think Ben is suing for it back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. Are you going next month for Formula One? No. I will be in Vegas. I'm going to have another event in Vegas right before the next Karate Combat fight. And we're going to build up. We might have a press conference, a weigh-in, and maybe some other announcements for IFC. And I've been just saying the acronym IFC. I haven't really promoted it yet and stuff. Still trying to get graphics and all the socials, everything done. And then, we'll get the guys that are fighting to promote it too. So right now it's still early stages, but things are moving very, very quickly. The fight will happen in 4 months, 4 to 5 months. Things are going to get wild between now and then. On Sunday, tomorrow, I promise you guys, I'm going to start doing these Sunday walk videos in the afternoon. I'll put it tomorrow night. I'll have more to share, Have I played with the EQ settings in my Tesla? No, no. So is it true what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Yes. And what happens in Miami stays in Miami too. Both cities are crazy. If you want to party, you want to have a good time, you can't, you know, um, you can't beat either one of those cities. But I just happen to have, there's so many conferences in both. So I just, there's something, I might go back to Miami for Art Basel. A lot of people are talking about that. And then I might fly to Vegas for the event. Um, yeah, something like that. So I might be in both again. Eduardo. Um, hey, it doesn't have to go that far, okay? Hello from Blockchain Island, Malta. What happened to Malta? Binance and everyone else was so bullish about going to Malta, and then all of a sudden they all upped and left. Nashville, still planning for it. I may actually do something in conjunction with Bitcoin 2024. I'm trying to do some kind of partnership with them so that they could actually help promote tickets to WAG 2024, which will be right behind it in Nashville. So that would be phenomenal if I could get their support. So I'm working on that as well. You see, I'm working on so many things behind the scenes right now. Sometimes I wonder why I try so hard, but like, man, I'm working on like 5 different things right now. Um, yeah, I'm not trying to brag, but it's just I'm working on a lot of things. Hopefully they all come true. Maybe I can't, can't plan everything correctly, but I have a really good team, a small team that is really hardworking, and they're helping me, make all these things happen. Renting a Model Y and the keys, fun but annoying. The Model Y is a good car, but it takes getting used to. If you've never driven a Tesla or any EV car, there's a big learning curve. Afterwards, you're okay, but at the beginning, there's definitely a big learning curve for sure. When are you go sell your Tesla or you go trade it in? I'm gonna wait until my model no, not my model, my Cybertruck is ready, then I'll trade it in because Tesla gives the most for trade-ins for Teslas. Everyone else does not want a Tesla. You go to like Mercedes, like I really want to get a G-Wagon. Like you go to Mercedes, like I want to trade in a Tesla, they will give you like nothing for it because they don't really want it or want to sell it. Um, you know, so I'm waiting for my Cybertruck and then I'll get rid of my Model X. Did you see what Vitalik said about ICP? No, I didn't. I did not. What did he say about ICP? I didn't see it. Uh, I don't know. Logan Paul hasn't fought. I mean, Logan Paul looks bigger, and he is obviously in shape because WWE. I don't know about the Danis guy, Dillian Danis. Like, I don't know him. I haven't caught up. I don't know if he's a really good fighter or not. Maybe he is. I don't know. I think at this point in time, no one can really discount the Paul brothers. Like before, everyone keeps clowning them, saying they're just like fake fighters, they're just influencers. But it's pretty obvious now that they take it seriously. They know how to box. They maybe have chosen, uh, you know, retired and old opponents, right? But they got some skills. My dad bought his G63 2017 for 85K, traded for 95K a few months ago for 2021. Yeah, the new one, the old ones and the new ones look very similar, but the new ones definitely have their advantages. Yeah, G-Wagons have gone up through the roof. Everyone wants a G-Wagon. All the trophy wives are driving G-Wagons. All the ballers, the pimps are driving G-Wagons. It's funny, like, everyone would rather get a G-Wagon than a Lambo Urus. Like, Urus is just, like, no one really talks about it. Out of the 3 German brands, what do you prefer? Audi, BMW, Benz? Benz. Benz charges the most for their cars because they're the leader. BMWs generally drive better, but their interior design is light years behind Mercedes, and their exterior design is kind of okay. Benz used to be really bad at exterior design, but they have caught up tremendously, and their new AMGs look phenomenal. Audi's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's good inside, outside, but they're kind of like the third wheel. And, you know, if you have money, you don't want to be seen driving a third wheel. You want the first wheel, which is Mercedes. Is it going to be a boxing match? No, the IFC is going to be MMA. It's done with Karate Combat, so it's their rules. 3 rounds, 2 minute each round, shortened by a minute for the influencers. Lighter weight gloves, MMA, no ground game. After 5 seconds, you have to let the opponent up, but during those 5 seconds, you can strike them and kick them as much as you want. There will be, punches, throws, kicks, like whatever goes. It's gonna be a true fight. It's not gonna be, not gonna be like wrestling or anything, arm bars on the ground. No, it's gonna be basically all strikes. The Bentley Bentayga is like the ugliest SUV I've ever seen. I could never get myself to buy that. It is so awful looking. I'm sure it drives well, but it is, if you have that kind of money, just go with the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. It looks much better, and if you really want to show off your status, then get a Rolls-Royce. But the Bentayga is like, I don't know. I'd much rather have a G-Wagon over that. Why did Honda stop making coupes? Because it's just low demand. It's the same reason why they stopped making 6-speed manuals. They used to have a 6-speed manual in the Accord, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was one of the best 6-speed manuals there was, but they got rid of it because low demand. Same thing with coupes. They used to have a Accord coupe, a Civic coupe, whatever else coupe, but people rather have 4 doors. Steve, I can't tell you who Ben is fighting. It's a secret. It's the top. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's a big secret. On purpose. Why not a 6-door? I always wondered on the bigger SUVs, the super long ones, like the XL, like Escalade XL, or whatever they call their long version. Why not to have a 6-door, a 5th and 6th door toward the rear, behind the wheel, right? Makes it easy to get into the 3rd row. Like, I actually think that would be a good idea. I don't know why anyone have not thought of creating 6 doors on those monstrous SUVs. It would just make getting in and out of 3rd row so easy, rather than try to fool around with the 2nd row. It just makes sense. Yeah, MetaMask was removed. Basically, it shows you not to trust centralized companies because they could just do whatever the hell they want, right? So hopefully this gets resolved soon. The X and Y is a big difference in terms of space. It's very comparable. The X is slightly larger. You get the Falcon doors, which in my opinion, actually, they look cool, but in reality, they actually really suck. You can't open the Falcon doors while opening the front doors because you'll just get hit. So that's something, it's just very inconvenient. But if you're looking for a business car that's over 6,000 pounds, right? You could take that Section 179 deduction. The X is over 6,000 pounds. The Y is not. So that's why. Funmaster, I am getting super chats, okay? Like, I don't know why you can't, but I am getting it. Speaking of super chats, I missed one. Does it matter to you? Why hasn't the U.S. government sold a BTC from Mt. Gox? When they do, it's going to hurt. They don't own anything from Mt. Gox, man. So I think you're a little confused there. All right, I think that's enough chat. Man, there's a lot of you guys stayed in just to chat. A lot of you guys must be bored this Saturday morning. All right. So to conclude, we're going to get the very first spot Bitcoin ETF next week. I hope so, because they did not appeal. Does that mean they get an automatic conversion or what? I'm confused on Grayscale, how their trust conversion works. But this pretty much sets the path to one being approved, either Grayscale's or ARK's or BlackRock's. This sets the path for their approval, and it's going to come soon, and it's going to be phenomenal, and it's going to look like this, okay? So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys Monday, but I will have a video for you guys tomorrow night. There'll be a recap video tomorrow, and there's plenty of other things to watch on CRU Plus, on CRU Clips. A lot of content, all right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.